Okay, so it's T-Way internal at the moment, and I wanted to do a quick, hopefully quick video on explaining the T-Way style a bit. Um, so you know what people are like, they're all going to kill each other, so I've got to type that on. Okay, so I'm going to go over three things. I'm going to go over how three ground players, single up ground players play, and then I'm going to talk about how jumpers get involved with that and how they find their position in that sort of play, and how staffers do. Because at the end of the day, because it is T-Way style, ground play is going to be the core of it, so it kind of starts with that. Okay, so I've got Idri here and I've got Morph. Now Morph isn't a ground player, but he knows how to position like a ground player. I just need to get rid of these blues. Okay, good. Right, no, you help me here, Akos. Help me here. Okay. So the basics, if we're playing now, and let's say that the enemy's coming through here, through this tunnel, or whatever the enemy's doing. Let's say they're all more towards the window there, the balcony, and we're three like this. We're kind of close, and there are reasons for this. By the way, I'm not spoken about this at all. I just turn around and they're in position because they know how to position themselves. So we play close together, and if we start changing our play, let's say that me and Idri go to attack the people on balcony or get up closer, then we'll both just get into position to somewhere that we want to attack, and Idri's going to be in position, and Morph follows as well. So it's like a triangle that continually moves, and so we're keeping close together, and we're keeping up with the play, so to speak. Two reasons to keep together. Obvious reasons. First one, because, assuming that we're ground players, we are able to cover a certain circle around each of us, and we're able to basically cover all the space around us and all the space in the middle of us. Staffers have a horrible time against this, especially if we play in that small room over that I'm facing there. You get three ground players in there, and you say to the enemy, "Come get us." You can just push away the enemy as you like, because they're all just kind of batting away staffers and pushing them away and stuff. And when they try to move in around your saber to come push in or get in behind you and stuff, you can't, because we've got three people here playing ground, and we're all covering that space, and there's no space for them to move in properly. They're not going to get the proper positioning and mobility that they need. So we're able to do fantastic bits of control doing this. And note, obviously, I mean, we're a little bit close. Probably about this, something like this. That we're not covering all the space. There's loads of the space in that corner, the space in this balcony. We're not covering. The space is over there. It's not that important as long as we're somewhat central, and as I say, close together. You don't need to have every inch of this room under your direct control. So in this sort of scenario, if there is an enemy here or a few of them over here, we can control that. So if there's a guy on his own, we can isolate that player and be like, we can 2v1 this player for a minute. Or and the third player may keep the other two kind of held back a bit so they can't go and help. And if there's two people here, we can pressure them and keep the third one apart. We can split up the enemy where we're not getting split up, and we can pressure them into corners without having to control every inch of the room. Now, the other main reason for being close together is being able to just help each other. If I'm if I'm way over here and Morph gets attacked, he's gonna have to wait a while. But if I'm over here, he can see me. He knows I'm gonna come. I can get in quick, ground, jump, however I want, and you can set yourselves up very, very nicely. It's much easier for him to try and set me up with something that's very quick and I'm there straight away than it is me jumping from the other side of the room and I'm rushing to get there. And if I am rushing to get there, let's say that I'm doing this, the choice of what I can hit is tiny. But if it's close, I can aim my jumping in multiple ways, and things won't have changed by the time I get there so much. So it's incredibly important that we keep this solid sort of setup, and it's really important. Just reading my notes. But yeah, and it's very much, you could say it's defensive, but it's just kind of like we like to slow down the game. Because if the enemy comes in really fast and really jumpy, let's say Frida and Jador, then we can slow down that play. They're jumping about all over the place. They want to chase a player, isolate them, and screw them over in the corner or something, or while they're jumping away. If we're playing like this, we can slow down that play, make it easier for us to get control and not get pushed away, isolated, or get forced into the air, and we can just get solid. Now, there's always going to be matches where we get pushed around. Frida is always going to push you around. But the idea is you get pushed around, you fight a little bit, and then you come back. And your teammates, if you get pushed away, your teammates try and follow a little bit, keeping without getting like messy or too much in a corner or anything. And we all support each other. So the triangle moves. You follow all together and you stick together. That's the idea. So, next part. How do jumpers play in this? Morph is a jumper. He can play in this absolutely fine. But you've got to have certain skills and certain understandings. Number one, you're not good on the ground. You're going to get pushed by staffers far easier than we are if we're ground players. So you have to have good movement. If you watch Morph play, when he's getting pressured by a singler, a staffer or a doula, he will just get run past them over and over again. He will be able to find a way of forcing them in one direction and just slip on past. So you have to have good movement. You have to be able to, when you get pressured back, suddenly find a way out and get around and go back. If you haven't got the movement and you just go backwards and backwards and start playing defensive and just crouching in the corner, you're fucked. And you make it very difficult for anyone to help you. So you have to have good movement. You've got to be able to see the pressure, see their movement, be able to like get them to move one way or something, or be able to move around them in some way, and really kind of look after yourself a little bit to be able to get past them and back to the group. Because if Morph's getting chased by Frida, number one thing he's thinking is, help. I need someone to help me. And if he's running away and he's getting pushed back or getting crouched in the corner, that is a hard task to help him. So he's going to look for us and start moving in a way to try and make it easy for us to help him or for him to slip back and get into the group. The other skill is, which I mentioned there, is you have to be good at setting up your opponent. As I say, you can't just be jumping away all the time. I've seen jumpers in this team, in T-Way, that just jump away and it's just like, help me, help me. I can't fucking help that. Staffer's following you. What do you want us to do? We can't. You have to be good at setting up things. You've got to be able to look for your opponent, your teammates. You've got to be able to think where they need the enemy to go and try and lead them there, or push them there a little bit, or do something that's going to get them there, or slow down the play. Which, both of these things, not easy to do. Both of these things need experience. And if you have some good ground red, obviously if you're a jumper you're not going to have as good a ground red as a ground player, but if you have enough to slow down the enemy, that you can just stop them from chasing you sort of thing, and you've got a bit of movement that you can work with that, you'll slow down the opponent so that he stops for a moment, me and Idri can kill him. Simple as that. Or if you have enough ground red that you can just push him a little bit and then jump away to get away and make a bit of space and find your way back to your teammates, perfect. So you have to have those three things. But jumpers are really good in these sort of lineups. Having three ground players is what we do in our squad usually, and if Morph's not there, if it's me, Idri and Terra. But we're really solid, and we have to be like really, really tough and not break down and like not fall apart. If we have Morph in our team against certain opponents, he's getting all the kills, because as a jumper, you have to be good at getting in position, good at getting close, and all the chances that we make for backstabs, for if we push somebody and make them jump in the air or get in a corner or whatever, he's getting them all, and he's really good at that. He's like a sniper with his jumps. And so we set up the jumper, and there'll be loads of games that playing with a jumper just makes things so much easier overall. And so, yeah, there absolutely is. I know we don't play as often with Morph as we do Idri, because Idri is more active, but he's fantastic at it, and having two ground players to play with him helps him out. Now, if you have two jumpers and one ground player, that's tough. If you have three jumpers and no ground players, that's a fucking disaster, as far as I'm concerned. Which I'll come on to in a second, nearly finished. Staffer, like, you're going to have different kinds of staffers. You're going to have some ground, some jumpers. But either way, you have to deal with the staffers. For a T-Way staffer, for our style, your main job, when the staffer comes over, you go over to them and stop them from chasing Morph around or whatever like that. So you've got to be able to, you don't have to destroy them, you don't have to kill them, but you have to stop them, get in between, be able to push them away a little bit, slow them down, Because the problem is our biggest weakness with singlers is that players like Frida will chase us around, we get isolated or we get caught out, it's done. Someone like Wrongful as well, it's tough. So as a staffer, like Howl or Howley or however you say his name, he's good at finding the staff and be like, that's causing my teammates problems, I'll go and deal with it. The next thing for staffers to do is if that's sorted or whatever, or that's not a problem, just start pushing away singlers. You can get singlers isolated, cause them to play really defensive or in a corner or crouching. You're just going to create opportunities for yourself and other players. You're the big problem. You don't have to be amazing with a single to cause them problems. You have to be good against staff though, which is the thing. So as far as kind of the staffer role goes, you're just another singular, but you're very good at those particular things. You're much better at pressuring and you're much better at dealing with staffers for us. Not as good at backstabbing, not as good as certain like I don't know, jumpy plays or whatever like that, but you're going to be very, very good at certain things. And going to the final part now, which I'm going to do quickly, is when picking your lineup, as I said, you need ground players. So you need at least one ground player, because otherwise you're going to get pushed around, isolated to fuck, and you're going to struggle. You're not going to get stable. If you have two ground players, obviously that's going to help a lot. You can play that against just about any sort of setup, any sort of lineup. But if you want to play with one ground player, singular or staff, then it can't be against teams that will push you on the ground and start isolating you. Can't be against Frida, for example. He will fuck you up. So you have to pick who it's against, because having two good jumpers and one ground player can work really well. Can work well against a team like Cerberus, for example. Absolutely catch them out. But if you're going to play against Blitz, and they're using two staffers or a staffer and duels and your jumpers, oh, you're getting absolutely minced, and it's going to be very difficult for you to do anything about it. Anyway, that was everything. Thank you. Hope it was useful. Peace out.